Alright guys, this is John Boy here at TKM Performance in Denton, North Carolina. Doing a shop tour for the Engine Builder magazine. Figure we'll give y'all a quick little shop tour here. We're out here kind of in the middle of nowhere. Look great out here in the country. It's very easy to miss us whenever you come, if you ever come by the shop. We do have a little sign out front right there for the TKM office entrances. Right here's the entrance to the office and shop. So right here is where you'll come in. You know, normally that's where I sit right there, and Kevin sits every once in a while if you can get lucky and find them. There's a little office space here. You know, some of our better moments here. You know, Kevin in the magazine there. Anthony Sellers with Vendetta. You know, we got a lot of our customers up on the wall. A lot of John Dock stuff, like Less Nasty. Like I said, not much to it. This is one of our Billet Coyote intake that we've been working on, trying to get it finalized out. So hopefully it'll be hitting the market really, really soon. So we'll get y'all guys into the shop over here. You got Zach and Cornbread over there. So this is part of our head department. This is Robbie right here. He does mainly the push rod stuff. So come over here and show you some of his equipment and stuff that he's got. You know, there's a little bit of everything. We got some Gen 3 Hemi heads right there. There's 34.5. Right now he's actually doing some valve jobs on some Can-Am cylinder heads for our sister company next door, Mr. RPM. Right here's where they do all the valve grinding, you know, chipping the valves, look at everything. Right now it looks like he's measuring some valves up and probably getting some stuff ordered or seeing what he needs to do for these little Can-Ams. We got, you know, stuff a little bit everywhere. And some of our spring selections that we keep here. Keep a lot of the manly stuff, a lot of pack stuff for the Coyote and the LS guys, trick titanium valves, a lot of PSI springs for the high horsepower stuff. So a little bit of everything, a ton of retainers, locks, all kinds of stuff. Whole cabinet full here, you know, a bunch of all those retainers, shims, seals, a little bit of everything in there. I'm saying we got, you know, Ferrer, Rev. In this day and age, you got to get valves and parts from everywhere you can, just because it's so tough to get. So we'll come over here to the line home section. This is Zach. This is where he'll do the line home section. He's got a Gen 3 Noonan in here right now. This will be for one of the guys at Dino Performance. It's got a nice Wimberg crankshaft going along with it. Beautiful jewelry right there. I'm saying, Zach, can you tell me what you're doing, Zach?
What's up? I just finished up on the Noonan billet block here for the line home. So I checked the bearing clearance, set the bearing clearance of what we like. So we're pulling it apart, getting ready to get it cleaned up so we can start putting it together for the guy.
Yep. So some of the stuff he does, you know, he'll come in here, he'll mic the crank first, you know, get all the measurements on it, then he'll set up everything, torque it down, you know, mic it, and then see what his bearing clearance is going to be at. You know, a lot of times we'll have, you know, 3 to 4 sets of bearings for every application. You'll have a standard, an extra clearance, a coated, you know, a coated extra clearance. Like I said, gives you a lot of options. You know, a lot of times we'll get some, I ain't gonna call it junk, but we'll get some stuff in here, you know, that's had a better life out there. You know, we'll have to cut the caps, and then we'll have to take a lot of material out, you know, change the center line, not something that's ideal. You know, but we get it, you know. Sometimes you got to make do. We've actually made some saddles for some of them on the LS3 world to fix the main bearing whenever it turns so bad that, you know, it can't be replaced. So there's one of them beautiful Wimbergs right there. That's one in that Gen 3 Hemi right there. Then we got these nice crank racks from I believe it's ABS products, you know, to get the cranks off the floor. So let's step over here to the CNC side. I'm not sure where our operator's at right now. Nick is our CNC operator, but this is normally our first line of where the block goes, you know, after it's been torn down, or if it's a new block, it generally comes here first. You know, we got a lot of billet over here right now. We got some energy blocks, some Noonans, we got some CFE over here, nice Shelby cast 351 Windsor. There's Nick, that's our CNC guy right there. What you doing over here, Nick, right now?
Roughing out some sleeves on a 5.3
All right, so this is one of our bread and butter specialties. You know, this is where we're actually taking a Gen 4 5.3, you know, boring the original sleeve out and installing either Darton, LA, or advanced sleeves into it, you know, to be able to punch it out to upwards of a 427 or even bigger if you want to. Yeah, so here's one of the sleeves that's being replaced with. That's a Darton right there. I believe that right there is a 3990 bore is what that one is, or is that one the...
It's 3990. It's a 326.
Yes, that's the 026, so there gets you to a standard 400 bore if you wanted to go that route. But you know, basically he comes over here. That's our Coyote rack where we have a ton of where our blocks come. You know, a nice little AccuFab fillet deal right there for one of our customers. Come over here, you might be able to get a little bit of action on the CNC through the window right here. Get a little bit of better view there. But generally he runs blocks on both sides. He normally has it fixed up where he'd have modular Coyote on one side and then have it set up for everything else on the other side. So he's getting cleaned off the bed plate right now, getting ready to put something else in the machine here. But that's our CNC guy. You know, we got a little stack over here. It's going to be our where we put stuff over here for stroker clearance, or he's got some stuff with some cylinder heads he's got to do a little bit of modification to. Then we come over here to cornbread with the balance machine.
Jumper for the gram.
So it looks like he's got a Coyote crank over here right now. Pretty standard for us.
700 RPM right there.
Man says spin the 700 RPM. So how far do we go when we balance these things? You know, you always hear people asking about, you know, you got what some people call static balance, where they're taking the rod, they're measuring every rod, grinding it down, trying to, you know, get it per gram.
Pretty much done. You can see it when you open the rods, when you open the pistons, and we get it within 1 gram. So I done put Mallory in it, both ends. I put a slug on each end. Now I got 33 to drill off the front, 22 to drill off the back. She'll be within 1 gram is in gram and a half is in tolerance, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, so he'll basically, you know, he'll come over here, weigh the rod, you know, put the rod on here, then weigh the big end, the small end, set it all up.
And then here's your bob weight. This is 2 rods and pistons weights.
Right.
Ready to go. This one was actually
1853, 1856, somewhere around there.
41.
1841.
On your heavy Coyote stuff that we've been 200 mile an hour with. So street motor.
Yep. You tell us what you got going over here with your hone over here?
Yep.
I think we still have the AMC in here right now, right?
Horn and AMC. Guy provided his own torque plates. Actually, he had everything bolted up in the guy here. Homing it, Nick bored it, I'm gonna hone it. We'll deburr it, wash it, and that's all the customer wants. I done balanced this crank last week or 2 weeks ago. So
and this is some of our machine work only clientele, you know, so we can knock this stuff out really quick. You know, a lot of times guys, you know, get their stuff back in the next day or two, depending on what all they need done, you know, and anything else like that right there. But yeah, this is
up and down and rock and roll. This is roughed in with diamonds. It's what's running right now. I generally get it 1/1000th away. It's drawn up a little bit. But this is my diamonds. And then when I get, it'll be here to 0 when I get done with the stones. So that's how we do
use
it.
the diamonds is what you use to straighten the bore up, right?
Straight. Diamonds cut really aggressive, but they cut slow. The stones are a little less aggressive, but they take the material really fast. But yeah, diamonds, and these are the diamonds. So finish this hole, come in here. It should be around 1,000 away, actually, like that other one. And so that hole will cool a little bit. And then as you can see, the rough board texture versus when you go to this hole over here, you can already see the crosshatch from the diamonds. So rough bore, crosshatch.
And you normally alternate holes too, right? Like you don't normally go side by side.
Generally, you don't want to. The heat transfers. So we start here, we go this hole, we come here, and then I'll end up on this one.
Kind of like torquing the head stud. You don't want to just go down the line. You know, you want to stagger it some.
So I'll set it up. I'll let it go. My timer up here, this is a mechanical timer up here, is on 10. When it gets to off, it'll cut off by itself, and it'll be the same size as that one. And during that, I can go over here and balance.
Yeah, Cornbread said he don't need no fancy
Multitask
CNC home.
here, baby. That's your girl.
There's Sammy rolling out a LT motor right here.
Probably the first one in a month.
So we'll go back here to the engine building room here. So we got these right here. Generally, you know, some that are next up in line. They've already been pre-staged, you know, ready to go. So basically, Skinny will prep these blocks. If it's like the Gen 3 Hemis right there, he'll paint them. It's aluminum block. We generally don't paint it. You know, any of the LS iron blocks that we paint, you know, make it look very presentable whenever it leaves. LT8 right there has been built. I said we got, you know, all kind over here, but they'll have like, here's the guy's cart right here. This is Mr. Justice Spencer's right here. It's a Coyote build, pretty big horsepower build. So everything's wrapped up, ready to go in it. Probably be starting on it soon. Like I said, all our carts are very organized. Once it comes to this point right here, they have, you know, basically every shelf's got a certain amount of parts, certain style parts on it, whether it be the cylinder heads, camshaft, you know, bottom end, stuff like that right there. Some of our piston racks, where Skinny will pre-build the, you know, the piston stack. You know, he'll go ahead and file the rings, put all the pistons and rods on there, go ahead and size the rod bearings and everything, put them on the rack for the guys to get built. Yep, right here, here's your example right here. So that's out there, the piston rack's been built. Say the rings already been filed. You know, he's got a little eye on there for the intake side on there. So you know there's a direction to go really quickly. And like I say, I already got the rod bearings sized out. You know, it leaves the piston spec sheet on there for him, leaves the rod spec sheet on here for the torque specs and everything. You know, he's got 1 to 5 numbered on there and the front on there. And this is Brian, one of our engine builders. So he just got through putting together this Coyote short block right here for a customer. One of our stage 2 deals, it looks like it is. It's got the deck supports on it, mini hoops, sleeves, then CNC deck, CNC Profile Deck. So we get a lot of questions on what the CNC Profile Deck actually is. So what that's actually doing is, so once we install these sleeves, Nick's got a fixture in there that he'll actually, you know, bolts in these 2 head bolt holes right here. It goes in the sleeve, and he actually presses it in to get the, what we call seating the sleeves. So he'll seat the sleeves, and what that does is after he's seated all the sleeves, he'll come in here and he'll CNC deck the block. So he's gonna flatten all that down so it's all zero, you know, perfectly level as you can get. So then what he'll do is he'll come back with the end mill, and he's basically gonna go back, and this is what we call profile deck, and he's gonna come and go around the sleeve everywhere around the block. So what that does is it allows the sleeve to protrude 2 thousandths, you know, roughly 2 thousandths above the deck. So it allows the engine to catch up with it heating up. You know, the aluminum rate expands different than the steel or the iron rate does. So what it does, it allows the deck to catch up instead of where this was all perfectly flat. You would have an issue where, you know, this deck could actually grow in that sleeve knot, and basically you're gonna lose, you know, 2 or 3 thousandths of sealing right there because the deck has grown. So like I say, what we're doing with that is we're allowing it to catch up with the heat. So some more stuff, you know, we get the heads ready back here, like this right here. You know, more blocks that are getting ready to be pre-staged up to be built. Customers got 2 identical BAE Hemis in here that's getting built. Say some 4853 LS right there. There's Mr. Justice Spencer's block. This is one of the first ones that we have done a dry deck system on. So like I say, the water system will run separately in the cylinder head and the actual block itself, you know, to eliminate, you know, water issues on the big horsepower deals whenever lifting the head is a possibility. say some of our carts. This is where Sammy's spot is over here. He is rolling one out that he's finished. So this is Skinny over here. Skinny does, you know, a little bit of everything. So he's the one that basically preps the box, get it ready for the engine builders. So he's doing a lot of the leg work, you know, and the engine builders are putting it the rest of the way together. So right now he is filing the rings on there. So how do you set up the ring gap? What's your criteria on ring gap, Skinny?
Just depends on what we're doing for the, if it's boost or what the bore size is. It's all horsepower boost and what it is.
Yeah. So he relies on me, which, you know, I do to my shop. I create the work order. You know, I talk to the customer. So a lot of, you know, what he decides on the ring gap is going to be based off what the customer tells me. So, you know, that's something you need to tell us up front. You know, if you got a, you know, like this here is a 6-liter LS, probably going to be a 408 deal. I'm not sure exactly what this motor is right here, but, you know, if you tell me you're only going to make 800 horsepower, we're going to gap the rings for 800 horsepower. You know, where if you, and then all of a sudden you're going to start making 1,300 horsepower, we need to know that stuff. You know, that's a lot of it right there. You know, and like I say, the ring gap is pretty important when it comes to how long these things will live. But you got, you know, he's got the piston rack built on this one right here. Looks like we got some used pistons, some new rods on this one right here. Like I said, we work on a little bit of everything here. You know, it ain't just all new parts. A little bit of everything. So I'll take y'all guys out here to the teardown area, and we got some more. So I'll show you our pistons and stuff we got too. So this is part of our sister company back here. You got CNCs for days. We use that CNC a lot for the cylinder head stuff. Over here is a lot of our pistons and rods. We got boost lines for days over here. You know, we got, you know, a ton of pistons in stock. We always label everybody's names on stuff. We use a system called My Shop Assist, which a lot of the customers love. A lot of pictures uploaded in there, especially in the build section of it. You know, and it allows the customer to keep track. It's all real time. It shows when somebody's clocked in on the job. You know, it shows all kind of notes on there. Gives you all your specs. It's literally like blueprinting your engine, you know, on electronically. And it's something that never goes away. Like I say, it's something you'll have, you know, for the life of, you know, being a customer, or even if you ain't a customer no more, you'll still have the access to the My Shop. So we're going to walk back to the teardown section now. Here's some of the heads. A lot of times over here it comes to get welded up. These right here are dry decks. So this is some of the non-finished work, just getting, basically they'll weld them up, they'll skim them, bring them back, you know, touch up any spots. Like this right here, you can see that needs a little bit more weld right there. Like this right here, we had to re-weld the hoops up because it's got a different hoop system what we use. There's another, these right here are going to get dry deck. That right there's already been started. Yeah, you got this one right there. That right there has not been started. Oh, and I forgot about it. We got the, so this used to be where our engine dyno was. Now this turned into basically the Coyote overhead cam cylinder head area. It's a little bench that we use to put together all the Coyote stuff, the 4.6, 5.4, you know, any of the overhead cam stuff. We got a ton of that work in here. Got some 3-valve stuff going on in here, a lot of Coyote. Like I said, a little bit of everything. Got some old school 11R heads in here from Trick Flow. Some BB3s, you know, like I say, a little bit of everything. Even got some 429 Super Cobra Jet heads in here. Trick Flow, some of our own cylinder heads. I say some LTs, just all kind of cylinder. There's the 429 Cobra Jets. We actually got 2 of these 429 Cobra Jets in the shop right now. I'll show you the other one here shortly. You know, like I said, right there's one of our top fuel hoop system right there. You know, it's one of the things that we're known for is our top fuel hoops. So we use this right here is what's called our mini hoop system, which it can be used with an MLS gasket. It's a smaller hoop. It's traditional. It's kind of like the old 041 wire that everybody's used to, or O-ring. It's a one-piece stainless steel ring. It's going to be put in the cylinder head, or it can be put in the actual block. We prefer to put in the block if we have both options. Works well either way, but So it ends up working a little bit better when it's in the block, because normally it's either on the iron sleeve, you know, or iron block. So like I say, it just gives a little bit more foundation, but it works well in the cylinder head too. And it gives a little bit extra security, extra bite with the MLS stuff. We got a couple customers going extremely fast with the MLS setup like that. And this right here is a Billet Coyote. Mr. Mark's over here. He had to do a little bit of work to it. This right here is gonna be a front runner for sure. Got daily jaw sump on it. Our TKM caps, GT350 cylinder heads. You know, complete build from TKM on this setup right here. So they're really excited to get this. I know the customer's ready. Let's say it's going to be. We use on all our big horsepower stuff. We use the RGR setup on the timing components. It's just timing arm right here, which is resistant to M1. Works really well. There's no liner to wear out or fall off. We'll put a custom stop in the tensioners that won't allow it to back off any, you know, in case of loss of any type of oil pressure or anything like that right there. And it's cool. We actually seen this at PRI, ended up picking it up. Hasn't used it very much yet. Like I say, very awesome tool to measure pistons, rods, wrist pins, ring depths, everything like that right there. And this is Mr. RPM. It's one of our sister companies. They specialize in Can-Am stuff here. They got some wild stuff. You know, he does a little bit of everything from stroker kits, turbo builds, to anything and everything between. He's actually got what's called the Hemi Slice. I don't know if some of y'all pay attention on YouTube a while back on John Doc's channel. That is actually a Noonan 4.9 Hemi wrapped up right there, and it's called a Slice. And the reason it's called a Slice is it's a two-cylinder 4.9 Hemi. So ultimately all they did was take it and cut off a 4.9 Noonan Hemi and made a V-twin out of it. And that is going into one of Greg's wild contraptions. I believe they said he's gonna put it in that four-wheeler right there with and try to make, I believe, 1,200 horsepower. So he's got his own little, you know, in-ground dyno for four-wheelers and side-by-sides. That's the Ethan. That's the one that works on most of the Coyote stuff and the overhead cam stuff, along with Robbie. It's like he's cleaning up some heads, getting them ready, probably put some guides in them. Yeah, these are some heads that came fresh back from CNC porting. So he's putting new bronze guides in them, getting them all sized up. That's our Sonic. Unfortunately, this right here is sort of subject right now. It likes to let us down a lot, so it's down in service right now. We got to send it back to Morganton, North Carolina, to get it worked on. It's a little bit loud. They got a dyno going on right now. So this is our teardown area. This Casper and Hot Rod. So basically, this right here is where, so this right here is a good piece. So this is one of our customers that's had a lot of issues with these heads right here. He actually broke another one, not nearly as severe as this one right here, but it has to be a casting issue. I mean, it's, like I say, it just destroyed this head. We've only seen this a couple other times. So he's coming in, basically, I believe this one tore up the block. He's already got a replacement head, so the goal with this one is to swap out the block and get them back going. But basically, this right here, whenever you bring in a motor that needs to be redone, this is the first stop. It comes right here. Casper will clock in. This is our system that is called the My Shop. He'll clock in on there, and he will take a bunch of pictures, all his measurements. You know, he'll measure the piston for collapse, measure the rods around this, measure the bores, you know, make any type of notes he sees, any damage he sees, you know, for replacement parts. And then Mark will actually go over the teardown, you know, and give it to me, you know, with recommendations on what needs to be done, what needs to be replaced, what machine work needs to be done, and so forth and so forth. But basically, he's got a whole cart right here that he'll tear down, clean all the parts, put it on the cart, catalog it, take lots of pictures, you know, and like I say, and then once he's done, he'll wrap them up. You know, this right here is Hot Rod does a lot of the deburring stroker clearance right here. This one here's got our CNC program on it for the stroker clearance. You know, a lot of our stuff, you know, we do 4-inch stroke. LS stuff is our bread and butter. So a lot of us, you know, the exact same. It's one of our dart blocks that we do a ton of. You know, common very common for us. We got, several packages out there that you can make north of 2,000 horsepower and have a very reliable package, with the parts that are readily available and nothing crazy by no means. So all these right here are generally waiting for, something to check stroke clearance or deburr or something like that, which is a very time-consuming thing. All right, show them some of the stuff that you deburr on these blocks. Now, a lot of people don't know what the deburr task is or why we deburr stuff.
Yeah. So some of it can be for aesthetics, or we can go down to the nitty-gritty where we make things better for oil flow and things like that. So we go in here and we'll deburr the bottom of the cylinders, and we'll catch any sharp edges of the webbing. The cam tunnel area here to install cam bearings smooth and everything, make it last long.
Yep.
We go in and we'll...
Yeah, and what he's doing is, like these sharp edges that you can get in these transitions, especially after, a bore and a hole and stuff like that, it's an edge that can catch the aluminum, and basically anything that, that you can do, so you don't mark up this nice, beautiful new, customized piston right here that's going to go in there. Like I say, it's basically to keep it from being able to mar, scar, anything like that right there as far as that right there goes. So yeah, you can see right there, I don't know how close you can see that, where you just deburred that. Like I said, it just gets rid of that sharp edge right there. There's a bunch of stuff on these dart blocks, like in there, there's a lot of casting flash in there that he gets rid of and stuff. I say, stuff like that's not that big of a deal. It does help, but it's more aesthetic than anything. We try to put out a top-notch product, and like I say, he spends a lot of time, a lot of detail on all the deburrs. Because he knows if he rolls it back here to the engine builders and there ain't something deburred, he's in trouble.
That's right. Yep,
and it comes right back.
From water jacket plugs to oil galley holes, all the way through. So everything gets brushed and tightened up nice.
Oh yeah. Everything gets jet washed. The jet wash is probably one of the most used tools that we got in here. Like, this thing gets used, it's hardly ever turned off. Stuff comes in here, it looks super nasty, and it leaves out of here, it looks, ultimate brand new. A lot of this stuff right here is waiting to get tore down, or like I say, just a little bit back off. So that's the other 429 that we got here. Like I said, I don't know how often this is. And then you go out here, it's going to be our Dino Room. It's a little bit loud right now. Kevin's out here cleaning up. Kevin normally does at least 2 dynos a day, an 8 o'clock appointment and a 1 o'clock appointment. Kevin specializes in fuel tech and Holly. He can do other things, but we do not tune with stock computers whatsoever. There's no HP tuners, no anything to do with a stock computer. Like, unfortunately, we are out when it comes to that. So most of these out here, these carts out here, are our pre-stage carts, which means close to everything is ready to go. The only thing we're waiting on is, basically to get in line to get built. Or it could be waiting on like a small part here and there. So we got carts everywhere, man. Like, we average normally 200 jobs at all times in here. They leave as quick as they come in. We got some of the, over here's just some of the stock parts. That's more blocks that just ain't got room to go in there. Over there, this is Mr. Cherry Wood's C7 Corvette. Kind of lives on the lift right here. Unfortunately, they don't get to come over too often in Australia, but it's a 4.9 Newton Hemi with a tie drive set up on it. Top class car, very awesome car. I say, these guys right here, they come over, they work non-stop. They're out here, they'll get here before anybody gets here, and they'll still be out here 11, 12 o'clock at night working on this thing. Then they'll leave for a few days, go out and do some testing, racing. They'll be back in anytime now. They can do some stuff. We got the Zamboni right there, try to keep the floor clean whenever we can. Got over here, so we got our hub dyno, which is an awesome tool. It allows so much data. You can leave off of, boost, you can simulate a pass. You get so much data, where you go out there to the track, do some testing, you can blow the tires off. you know, get no data whatsoever. Where this right here, this tool right here, man, it saves a lot of time and a lot of money, a lot of travel. So you get so much work out of that. So then, of course, our Dyno Jet in-ground. This is all the done stuff right here. You know, this pile will get big, get small. It varies a lot. You know, but all this is completed work that needs to be paid for, picked up, shipped out, or whatnot. You know, we got a couple of guys over here that's been here for a long time that really needs to come pick up their stuff. But other than that, we have pretty good. Where's our air goes? And this is one of our local customers. It's got all Billet Coyote in it. It's got some new gen precision 76s that ain't hit the market yet. This thing made some serious steam on the dyno. Made almost 2,800 at I believe it was right around 45 psi. It's an M1 car, of course. You know, no water. Beautiful setup out here collecting dust right now, unfortunately. Like I say, it's got the new precision 76s on it though. Like I say, and them things right there, they're going to be a ticket whenever they finally become available. This one's set up on Holly. Most of the chassis work and stuff was done by Jared Tucker out there in Conway. A beautiful car. There's just some more stock parts over here. Unfortunately, it's a mess. We're very space limited. And we keep a ton of sleeves in stock. We got sleeves in other places too. Brad Pins, our oil of choice, especially on the methanol stuff. Like I say, and that's a nice little shop tour of the TKM. Anybody got any questions or anything else that they'd like to see while we're still on here? All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining.